You should have a bright blue sheet of paper like this in your packet. First thing you are going to need to do is add to the title here. So, what you have on both sides of this paper are bits and pieces, quotes from the Bill of Rights. These are the first 10 amendments to the United States Constitution. That's why it says Amendment 1, Amendment 2, Amendment 3. And on the back side we have 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 are all put together, 9 and 10. So we've pulled those amendments out. These are the rights that the people who had to agree to the United States Constitution thought were the very most important rights to protect, to make sure that the United States government at the federal level was not able to take these rights away from individual citizens. We are going to take these apart and go over them a few at a time. So what we have here in Amendment 1, this is the language that is used in the Constitution. This is what it means. So a bit of a study guide, so to speak. So the First Amendment says, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion. There are a whole lot of other rights that it talks about, but the first thing we're going to do is just look over and see what does it mean if Congress can't make a law, cannot make a law respecting the establishment of religion. Well, if we look over here, corresponding number 1 says, all right, Congress cannot, and I want you to write the not over here. Congress cannot make laws setting up an official religion for the country. So the first part of the First Amendment says the United States government cannot tell you what to believe about religion. The second part of it says Congress shall make no law prohibiting the free exercise thereof. So first of all, the thereof is referring back to religion. Prohibiting means stopping. And what does free exercise mean? Well, here we go. Congress cannot keep people from practicing their religion, from following their religious beliefs. Some of the latest Supreme Court rulings talk about deeply held religious beliefs, and the fact that the United States government cannot make laws that force people to go against their deeply held religious beliefs. So those two are both about religion, what you believe about God, the importance of life, how you worship, what happens after we die, how the world came into being, why we are here. All of those are very important parts of different religions, and according to the First Amendment in the United States Constitution, the very first thing it says is that the United States government cannot take those rights away from United States citizens. Then it says that the government cannot abridge the freedom of speech. You've probably heard of freedom of speech. What does that mean? Well, again, Congress cannot stop people from saying what they want. So the First Amendment of the United States Constitution protects your freedom of speech. Now, you're going to do a little bit of work just with those 3 parts of the First Amendment. Why? Because there's a lot of really important stuff in the First Amendment. When they wrote the Bill of Rights, they put things in order of importance. And so they thought it was most important to keep the government out of religion and to keep the government out of telling you what you could or could not say. Having that in mind, the next thing you need to do, keep this handy, but you now need to find a little cartoon like this. So what I've done is I have imagined, and it's fun. I've done this for, a good 20 years with my 5th graders, this exact assignment. And very often they like this assignment because part of this assignment is to be sassy. You are growing up to be citizens of the United States, and as citizens, it is part of our job to keep the government accountable, to make sure that the government knows that we citizens know what our rights are. So here, what I've done is I've imagined that a dictator has taken over America. His name is Dictator. So a dictator is when someone takes over the government in a way that does not follow the rules and the legal steps that are set up for that particular government of how to get to be in authority. So this dictator is on the evening news. You can see the New York skyline behind him. You can tell I made this before 9/11/2001 because the World Trade Center is right there in the background. Kind of interesting, isn't it? At any rate, we have Dictator telling you some things. Since I am now in control, I've decided there need to be some changes around here. First of all, people are beginning to think I am power mad, but that's all because of what the newspapers and TV are saying. So they can't say anything except good things about me. So his main idea here is that newspapers and TV are saying things about him he doesn't like, so he is going to tell them to stop the reporting that he doesn't like. What we need to do is look at here and see if in the First Amendment we have talked yet about that. We've talked about freedom of speech, but we haven't specifically talked about reporters. So you do not need to do box number 1 today. We are looking for places where he is trying to take away the rights that the First Amendment in the Bill of Rights to the United States Constitution has guaranteed to United States citizens. So far, we haven't talked about that one. What about what he says here? Furthermore, this army is costing too much money. So now, everybody has to invite 5 soldiers to share their homes. Didn't talk anywhere here about soldiers. So, no. We don't need to deal with what he says here. Hey, you don't have to do anything on the first page today. Second page. You can see this is a number 3, just to help you make sure you're on the right page. All this nonsense about going to church or synagogue or any other place to be religious needs to stop. Okay, wait a minute. That should sound familiar. At the very beginning of the First Amendment in the Bill of Rights of the United States Constitution, it is guaranteed that citizens of the United States cannot have Congress making a law establishing religion or taking away, prohibiting the free exercise. Which one is he trying to do? Is he trying to set up a religion or take away the right to exercise and do your religion? He's trying to take away free exercise. He's prohibiting free exercise. So you must do number 3 today. This is assigned. I'll get in a minute to what you have to do here as part of your assignment. What about number 4? Since you will all have soldiers living with you, you won't need to have any guns in your homes. All guns will be turned over to the Army to save on defense spending. Nothing here about guns. So we do not need to do number 4 today. Number 5, since I can't trust you all to turn over your guns, my friends can go to your house at any time. If they find anything they don't like, you will be arrested. It's not talking about going to your house and arresting you in the first part of the First Amendment that we talked about. Number 6, you can already see on the photocopy it came through, some of these sections are shown to you. So if we look at this last circle, people are going to be immediately hung, drawn, and quartered or injected with smallpox. Okay, that has nothing to do with free exercise of religion, not establishing religion, or freedom of speech. What about anybody who says I am not the greatest thing to happen to America? Is it a bridge? Is it stopping you from saying what you want if the federal government says you can't say you don't like it? That is absolutely taking away your freedom of speech. So, number 6 is going to take up several other sections as well because there's a lot to number 6. The only part that you need to write about, and you may absolutely fill it up today, is him trying to take away your right to freedom of speech here. So now, what do you have to do in those 2 boxes? What is your assignment? Well, you need this information and you need to fill in the blanks. So, first of all, you are going to write to him, you can't take away our right to, and then you have to look here. What right is he taking away? Establishment of religion, not establishing a religion. Is he taking away free exercise of religion? Is he taking away freedom of speech? By doing this in number 3, which one of those is he doing? You actually have to be specific there. I just gave you your 3 choices. Then you need to write it. That would be whatever right is up here with your pen. You need to W-R-I-T-E. It is guaranteed in the, I'm not going to name it for you. You need to name the document. No, don't write down the word document. But this right is guaranteed in the United States what? So this is the big name of the document. Then, which part of that document? So there is the normal part that was written first, and then there is the section of changes afterwards. This is the name of the whole thing. This is where you talk about the section of the changes, the specific name. We wrote it on that bright blue piece of paper first thing as the title. So it's guaranteed in the U.S. something in the 3 words, and then it's in that section, number what? So 1 number of the, what do we call that part? Okay. So basically, the words that you are filling into those blanks are these and this one. Can't make it a whole lot clearer. That's your first 2 sentences. Then you need to add you to. Why is this right important to you? Should the government be able to punish people for doing that? Be a little bit sassy to him. After all, he is trying to take away rights that are guaranteed to United States citizens. So, yeah, get a little sass going on there. If you want to put a drawing in there to help him know how bad his mistake is, that is perfectly fine. You need to do the same sort of thing in the box for number 6. So just this part that is assigned. You have to tell him, you can't take away our right to not establishing religion. You can't take away our right to free exercise of religion. You can't take away our right to freedom of speech. Which one is he trying to do here? That right, is guaranteed in the U.S., some document, in the part of that document, section, number, whichever, of the whatever you call that part. And again, why is that important to you? Why is it that if you disagree with the government, you should be able to say that you disagree with the government? Little sass, little attitude, perfectly fine. Possibly a little drawing to help you out. Now, you might not want to put all your efforts into the drawing because there is one more part to the assignment today. And that is this Bill of Rights matching game. Eventually, you will cut these apart. But for now, you need to split this box right here, the one that's across from the First Amendment. You need to split it into so we have 1 part, 2 part, 3 parts, but wait. 4, 5, 6. Why? There are 6 very important rights that are guaranteed in the First Amendment and the Bill of Rights of the United States Constitution. And we are going to show all of them. So number 1, number 2, number 3. You may not use words, but you do need to draw a little bit of a sketch. Now, 1 and 2 are all about religion. So if you wanted to put them together, hopefully your eraser isn't quite as smeary as mine, you could do that. Number 3 is quite separate from the right that 1 and 2 that we talked about today are guaranteeing. So you want that in its own section. Just a little bit of a sketch, no words. This part you don't need to send to me yet. When we have the entire First Amendment discussed, then you'll send me that picture. Your assignment that you do need to send today, where you talk back to Dictator when he tries to take away this right, and where you talk back to Dictator when he tries to take away this right. Be sure that you use all of these words and fill in the blanks accurately. Thank you.